they're doing conjugal visits with this dude in the fucking back room.
Yeah, I think he loves her. I think he loves her. Yeah,
she was the reason why he got back slim. Like, I know it wasn't because Gucci Mane wanted to.
I mean, because he was in jail.
He got off the lean, bro. Come on.
Gucci Mane was not even in shape before he got famous.
Nah.
Yeah.
Okay. Good point.
You know, so like he hasn't been in this shape ever in his life.
Indeed.
So,
that kind of raises a question for me. Since we're talking about like just black people in general or famous black people with their weddings and stuff. Brad, did you hear this relatively recent Miko Grimes shit?
Oh my God, no.
Who's Miko Grimes?
Oh my God. Okay, well, for people who are tuning in for the first time, we have a segment called Get Your Mans. And Miko, what is her name? Miko Grimes?
Miko Grimes.
Yeah, she was featured on it. She was actually our very first Get Your Mans. Because I remember we were joking about the first one is actually Get Your Womans. But Get Your Mans, Herschel.
All right, so Miko Grimes. Miko Grimes is the wife of Bucks cornerback Brent Grimes. He used to play for the Falcons.
Oh, I do know this shit.
He played for the Dolphins. She has been the one coming out here flaming the quarterback. She flamed Ryan Tannehill. She flamed the owners with some mildly anti-Semitic statements, even though her husband was moving on to another team owned by Jewish people.
No, there's something wrong.
Fucking with the money. Basically, what she was doing is fucking with the money. She just talks. But apparently, I mean, he loves her, so, you know, it is what it is. But,
I saw an interview with Brent Grimes and his wife, and she was yammering the entire time.
She's a talker. Yes.
And Brent Grimes was not saying nothing.
Yammering?
I was yammering, just going off about, I don't even know what they were asking him. Because it was like some interview they had done before the game. And they were asking him about his career.
Yeah.
And he probably had like 5 sentences. She talked about like a New York Times centerpiece article length of fucking interview. Like
wow.
Dude. It was so weird because they were supposed to be interviewing Brent Grimes.
She was featured in Hard Knocks, and she seemed pretty mild-mannered in it, you know?
They probably cut out all the other parts. That was probably editing.
Oh, that's where it was. No, that was the fucking interview that I saw.
Oh, for real?
Yes.
I don't remember that.
No, he didn't talk for shit.
I remember that he didn't say anything.
She wasn't going off, like she wasn't going crazy, like shitting on anybody, because I'm sure they cut all the crazy stuff out. Right. But no, she was doing 90% of the talking, man. I was like, we're supposed to be interviewing this dude.
Right.
Like,
yeah, and she made it about her.
Yeah. Yeah, and he just didn't say nothing. He would just sit there like this quietly.
Now, she seems to be informed on football, but at the same time, she's very emotional with a lot of her takes. One of the recent shits that she said on her own podcast and platform and shit.
She has a podcast.
Yes, that's the thing. And she's ratchet. Yeah, you see how she is. She comes out here with a fucking flamethrower and just like is shooting at everybody. It's wild. One of the most recent like inflammatory things she said. So, I mean, this is a couple of weeks old now, but Derek Carr got injured and she was trying to say like his O-line intentional. This is the Raiders O-line is the only all-black O-line in the league. And she was trying to say that, like, Derek Carr was on some All Lives Matter shit. And the O-line was like, okay, well, since you about that, we're going to let you fucking get rocked one time. Which is obviously absurd. Like, there's no fucking way these guys who have their own jobs and their own health and safety to be concerned about. Like, they're you know, and Derek Carr is not stupid enough to come out here and say some dumb stuff like that.
With Marshawn Lynch.
Yeah, what the fuck is you saying?
Like, what?
Are you kidding me? In Oakland, like... Really?
You cannot let those words, like, even next. You can't joke about that kind of stuff.
So clearly she's out here just, you know, just
speculating.
Yeah, spitting and whatever. But like, I just thought it was interesting how like these relationships, when you're like a wealthy black person in the media or whatever, like your spousal relationships can fuck that money up. That shit is always scary to me, man.
That's scary.
That's wild.
Scary.
She seems to be a real one though. Like she's sticking with Brent Grimes, couple of teams and stuff. No, he clearly loves her, but
she's down to ride, even right or wrong, whatever. Brent Grimes
is and doing. Don't get me wrong. I want a woman who will speak her mind, you know. But like, you can't be flaming the owners and the quarterbacks of every other team. Like,
I mean, but she knows she got a nice dude. Like the dude is nice on the field.
Right.
Oh yeah.
I mean, even though he's like 5'8", he's over here taking on people like AJ Green.
He plays cornerback, right?
Yeah, he was a cornerback. So he's like, he's nice.
Yeah, I feel like cornerbacks, in order to last, you know, I don't know how long he's been in the league, but I want to say at least a good 7-8 years.
Yeah.
Like, you have to be nice as fuck because there's always somebody from fucking LSU who's gonna come and run a 4-2.
Yeah,
you know,
who's playing spot
who couldn't catch, so now he's playing cornerback. So yeah, definitely his ability to stick around is.
He's good at his job, man. He gets the job done.
Bro,
he might not be number one, but he gets the job done.
Yep. So if this is your first time tuning in, this is Real Talk Beyond the Headlines. Probably the greatest thing that you've heard all year. Yep. Amen. So Real Talk Beyond the Headlines is a podcast about sports, pop culture, and the barbarian side of life that you refuse to discuss with your friends. So here we are.
Yeah. You're in savage mode.
I'm in savage mode. But Real Talk Beyond the Headlines consists of Herschel and Tunde, both some young niggas from Atlanta. And, you know, we out here repping for Atlanta, doing it big in Atlanta.
Holding it down?
Holding it down in Atlanta, you know what I'm saying? Actually, I got to rewind. I don't live in Atlanta.
Goddamn, Tunde. About to take your Atlanta card. We already took Jamal's. Goddamn.
Nah, man, Jamal has already given up Atlanta. That nigga's a New York nigga. That nigga has 14 pairs of Timbs.
And a Carhartt fucking sweater.
Right.
Yo, he thought he could redeem himself by getting Gucci Mane's autograph and shit, but I don't know.
That got you 0.5 points.
Right.
Hey, shout out to the big homie Jamal. But yes, I did move to DC for a job. It's actually a pretty good job. I like it a lot, but I've been really torn and hurt inside because I haven't been able to record with my niggas, man. And here we are recording. It's exciting. I hope you guys enjoyed. Today we have the Instigator.
Oh, yeah.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yes, we have a friend. We're not going to name him. He's just the instigator. Remember that. He's the instigator because all of his opinions, his thoughts, his feelings will probably make you feel some kind of way. He instigates a lot of issues. But let me tell you one thing. He's smart as fuck. And like 95% of the time, he's right. So, Mr. Instigator, how you doing today?
I would say about 90% of the time. I don't want to give myself that much credit. I just want to get an A.
All right.
Damn,
90% over the 90%.
Can we also say that the Instigator is also a low-key fucking genius? This guy's smart as fuck.
I mean, I don't know if it's low-key.
There's a low
pretty high key
that I don't know.
See, that's some genius shit. You recognize a bunch of shit that you don't know.
Yeah.
Right. And then he goes to, know that shit.
Yeah.
But, I mean, see, the thing about the Instigator is that, his opinions might be, unpopular. Shout out to the Unpopular Opinions segment on Real Talk Beyond the Headlines. But he's a smart guy, so you have to take his word with some sort of grain of salt, right? And, yeah. So what we got on the docket?
So, first things first, I was actually just showing the Instigator the first episode of Punisher that has just come out last Thursday or Friday. If y'all are not watching that shit, it is lit. It was described to me as Call of Duty, but in Netflix, Marvel, cinematic like form.
I would agree with that, man. I was blown away by the first 15 minutes of this show. Like, it was crazy.
Yo, I wish I had been counting the body counts, the number of headshots in this fucking thing.
But the smoothness of it, it's not just like stitched together in this whole, conglomerate that you just like found on the ground. Like, no, these guys put in work into the system. Like, it's actually nice.
Yeah, it's well done.
Right. Herschel, that was an excellent point that you made. And I have to say that I watched all of The Punisher. I like it a lot.
Yo, don't spoil it. I'm only like episode 7 or 8, please.
Okay, not spoiling it, but okay. I think that a lot of people get capped. And
yes.
And I'm gonna be honest, it was kind of tough to watch because it's just like motherfuckers dying everywhere. And then when you think about like actual people dying, like, for someone to die, how serious that is, just like, wow, there's a lot of motherfuckers dying. And then also it has excellent commentary on the gun debate in our country. You know what? I have a question for the Instigator. You're familiar with the mass shootings.
Oh, yeah. I've heard about all of them.
Okay. Would you rather keep gun laws as they are or repeal the Second Amendment?
Whoa. Okay, well, please give your answer.
So, you don't have to repeal the Second Amendment because they're not going to be able to do it.
No.
Okay, but see, the thing is, repealing
that's not the solution, right?
That's such an aggressive
The solution is not to repeal
okay, but
the
what I'm
Second
saying,
Amendment. Because let's think about it like this. So I'm always in the frame of mind where, okay, you have a problem in one place and it seems unsolvable. There's other places that exist that don't have this problem. What is the difference between where you're at versus the other place where the problem doesn't exist? So guns aren't illegal in places like the UK or Germany, for example. It's not illegal to have a firearm. You just need to go through a lot of steps to get access to it, then you can have all the firearms you want. Well, you can't get an automatic weapon. You can't be getting tank busters. You're not going to get all that stuff. But there's like limits where we want to know who you are. We know you can do a lot of damage with this weapon, but we know you're not going to do it. But we want to make sure that you are the person that's not going to do it. So they have all these things. There's steps to go. You go to classes. You got to get certified. You got to be able to shoot. There's all these different things that you have to fucking pass before you can actually do this.
Where's this at again?
Germany and Europe. Yeah. The guns aren't illegal. They're not banned.
Yeah, Americans don't want to do any of that shit.
It's not banned.
Right.
So, but you can't just be any regular guy on the side of the road to just go buy one, because I felt like it today.
Absolutely. Okay, see, the thing, though, is, we haven't really talked specifically about politics, but I assume both of you are left-leaning, pretty liberal. And part of the liberal agenda right now is being pretty hard, or at least moving in a direction of being more strict with gun regulations. So my first thing is, you didn't answer the question.
Oh.
Yeah. Call him out.
So answer the question. Because the way I see it...
I don't think it's a dichotomy, though. You don't have to repeal the Second Amendment to have gun restrictions. Of course, it's your right to
You're right.
So it's your right to be able to drive a car, right? There's no law that you cannot have a car or you can have a car.
You just need a license.
You need a license. There's regulations on that because they know it's a dangerous thing.
Okay.
So
I totally get it. But what I'm saying is where we are right now is almost the opposite. If you consider all of these mass shootings and how easy it is for them to happen, how easy it is for someone to get a gun, what I'm saying is repealing of the Second Amendment is basically the opposite of what we are right now. Like, we're basically like a militant state, man. You could get a gun.
So the problem is, though, if you're going to take away the Second Amendment, you'd have to seize everyone's personal property.
Right?
That's not going to happen. People are not going to give up their weapons.
It's going to generate this big, huge black market. Gun prices are going to go through the roof, in the black market. And it's going to kill all the gun companies because obviously people are too lazy to go through these steps to be able to get guns. And so there's so much political pressure, the way our political system is set up. There's so much money that can be infused into the system. You can't have that when these gun companies are making a lot of money because guns aren't really that expensive to make. And you have this huge backlash from the people who actually value these weapons. And so it's two-sided. It's too much. You can't repeal this. You have to regulate it.
I agree. So it sounds like your answer is to keep gun laws as they are.
No. That's not at all what he said. No. He said to improve on the gun laws that we have. I asked a question. You asked a yes or no. That's not what I asked.
No. I didn't ask a yes or no. I said this or that. This or that. And
okay. So if it was only those two options, you'd have to repeal the Second Amendment and seize all guns to solve this issue. If either you let people keep killing each other like they are, or you take away all guns. Then
I didn't say take away all guns. I said repeal the Second Amendment. Which yes, you would have to take away all guns, but that's a different story. Look, all I'm saying is answer the question. Which one would it be? I know my answer.
Well, of course, it has to be take away all guns. You don't.
Mine is say repeal the Second Amendment. I don't own a gun. You can come take my gun. I ain't got shit. I'm gonna just stay.
Exactly. No, I agree with you. I mean, I don't think you need a gun, but the problem is that too many people have guns.
You're not going to be able to stop them. They're going to become militant against whoever is coming to take their guns.
Yeah, it's going to be violent.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of which, I think this is a perfect transition into my dad relatively recently, over the past couple of months. We are super strapped up out here. I know you may not have any guns out here today, but anybody trying to come ride on the Smiths, bro?
What's Herschel Smith III rocking with? He got an assault rifle?
Yes. All right, so my dad, he got a couple of handguns, several handguns. He's got them. He's got a license for them. But like even seeing him purchase the assault rifle, I saw how easy it was for anybody to acquire. This happened to be on Veterans Day. They were doing some promotion or whatever. Oh yeah, come out here. You know, we got FN. We got this table set up, hella guns or whatever. Obviously, me and my brother come over, pick some shit up, take a look or whatever. Once my dad comes over, dude's like, all right, we need to hit the range. Let's see what time it is. You shoot that bitch. And I understand why gun enthusiasts are so gung-ho, no pun intended, about like guns and just like not even about the whole like, okay, I'm protecting my personal property. You don't need no AR-15 to protect a regular home in a suburban neighborhood. Like you need an assault rifle.
That's unless someone pulls up on you with an AR.
Yes.
Well, yes. There it goes.
AR with a handgun.
And how likely is that for the population?
Likely as fuck.
Yes.
Niggas are pulling up on people with ARs?
Yes.
Look, they better not pull up on me with no goddamn AR because we ready. But I'm saying
people have been showing up places with ARs.
You're right.
Robbing houses with ARs.
You're right.
Like they are serious because if you just brandish that, people are shook.
Yo, speaking of which, just down the street from us is Barcelona Wine Bar. They do a whole bunch of, really nice brunch stuff, cool stuff, chill atmosphere, whatever. They just got robbed, and they these dudes ran up in there. They had everybody on the floor. Had the manager go open the safe, splat the manager, empty the safe. Dipset is all on video. Yeah. So the shit is serious. Like even outside of like mass shootings, people have guns out here.
That's why it's impossible.
You're not going to be able to, one, get them away from everybody, and two, get everybody to follow the rules. So what do you end up doing? How do you solve this problem where the population is growing, the number of guns around the population is growing, and we have this statistic where, like, I think it is 3% of the population owns 95% of the guns in the country.
Wow.
That's where you really have to watch out for.
And that means I got to join that 3%.
I'm saying, though, you don't want to be no Mark. I mean, Tunde out here looking real vulnerable out here. I mean, I guess he in DC, so we can't go ride on anybody. But, yo, if you try to ride on my boy Tunde, we coming with the heat. Don't worry about it. We flying up there with not only AR-15s and whatnot, but we're going to have the jets coming, too. And don't worry.
I appreciate, you guys getting my back and whatnot. The Instigator, man, I think you had.
I did have a point.
Yeah.
So somebody was asking me about the gun problem in Chicago. I'm not sure if it was one of you guys or somebody else.
It was me.
It was you talking
super profound, yeah. I said
asking about how would you fix the gun violence problem in Chicago? That Donald Trump's always talking about, it's a war zone.
Well,
people over there say it's Chirac. I mean, okay, so I mean it's pretty bad. And then I'm like, well, look, this is if you want to admit that this is a huge problem, and you need to do something, you can go ahead and declare police state, man. It's the system of emergency, state of emergency, city of emergency, whatever you want to call it. And you're searching everybody that's driving around. Like, you don't pick up anybody for drugs.
That's unconstitutional, though.
No, because when you declare martial law, you can do whatever the hell you want. And if the situation is that bad where you feel like you need to get all the guns off the street, you can do that. And you're going to get wide public support. Like, look, if you found somebody with 16 kilos of cocaine and 3 guns, you don't take them to jail for the drugs. You take them to jail for the guns. If they only have drugs, you let those motherfuckers go. This is how serious I'm talking. Like, you're only looking for a specific issue. I don't care what you're doing.
You direct it towards guns. It's a war on guns rather than a war on drugs.
Look, I'm going to take your name down. We're going to come look at you later, but we know that you didn't have any guns, so you can go home tonight. And you'll get all the guns off the street, off these motherfuckers. Like, look, you have to drive from point A to point B with a weapon in order to go and kill somebody unless you live with that dude, right? So you're going to be able to get 95% of the illegal weapons off the street if you do it, because everybody who has a weapon that should have one is going to be registered. They're going to be legal. They're going to be non-felonious. There's all these little things you can use to make sure that these people are supposed to have a gun. Or just say that everybody in Chicago must have if you own a gun, you be registered, all the guns you have are registered to you, blah, blah, blah. You can easily set up these systems ahead of time, give people 30 days, 60 days, 90 days to go and show up and show your guns and sign up. And if you don't do that, over the next 3 years, if we find you with a gun, we taking you in, we taking your guns. like after 3 years, like most people will not have any problems with nobody else. I'm gonna wait 3 years to kill this dude that killed my brother last year. I'm gonna wait. I'm not driving around with nothing. Like,
okay,
no.
But don't you think people are still gonna ride around with guns?
Yeah, exactly.
And they're gonna get caught. That happens in New York. The gun laws in New York are hella strict.
Yes.
So they cut down on the gun violence significantly. And in a place where the population is so crazy. I mean, but see, that's the thing. That's what's unconstitutional.
It got out of hand. Somebody, I'm saying, they would take people over for petty shit.
That's the thing. It becomes unconstitutional. When you declare that state of emergency, it's so easy for Trump to be like, round up all the ones who look like da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah, no, it's not about that. No, it's not
and
about
brown,
that.
yes. All of them.
It's not about that, though. That's what I'm saying. Like, if you put specific guidelines behind...
Do you trust the government to put specific guidelines around that wouldn't get you caught up?
Of course. I mean, because like, you can go and read them.
You do trust them?
Well, I mean, because like they're like these kind of guidelines would be very easily like you can read them. Like there's laws.
You can read the Constitution right now, and there's hella interpretations of how that shit goes.
You know what? Let's move from Chicago. Let's move from New York back to Atlanta because that's where we hold it down. This is Real Talk Out in the headlines. ATL's realest and the instigator. You know what, Herschel? Mr. Smith, Mrs. Smith, they are both highly educated black professionals. They live in a good city, Sandy Springs. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no martyr going up there, but it's
we out here in Roswell. We way the fuck up there with the white people.
My bad.
Like I said, Roswell.
I'm sorry,
in white land.
But okay, so that's even better. Okay. That's even better. Why did Mr. Smith III get a gun? No, my bad. Guns. Because I mean, look, I met your dad, I met your mom. Y'all are cool. Y'all don't come across to me as a strapped up blast type of family. You know what I'm saying? So why did he get guns? Now, perhaps maybe he enjoys shooting them. Did he have to get an assault rifle and hella handguns? I mean,
so part of it was definitely like there's an enjoyment in shooting, going and shooting. He likes that. Now, and my dad is also like a physician, so he dedicates 99% of his life to health, like improving health rather than taking health away, which is literally what guns do. We're not hunting with these. I'm sorry.
Let's be clear, your dad has never shot anybody.
He has never shot anybody that I know.
That's good. So 100% of his time is spent taking care of health.
Yes, that's what we're gonna go with. Yes, if for the NSA that's listening, fuck y'all niggas. Yes, my dad is in the clear. I will take that charge. I have to be honest with you guys. My mother does not know about the guns yet. Yo, bro. Okay,
okay. Don't share this podcast
my dad.
With her.
No, hell no. So me, my dad, and my brother. This is inside scoop for podcast listeners, just so you know. So me, my dad, and my brother have gone to the range a few times. We've chopped it up. It's been like, oh yeah, guys, family affair, whatever.
That's a big thing, man.
It's kind of big. Now,
what do you mean? It's
not
big.
Okay, it's really big.
Especially he got a couple straps. He ain't got one strap. He got a couple
outside
straps.
The house. Look, we as my brother, my father, my mother. I mean, my brother and I have moved out. We don't live at home anymore. My dad wants to be able to protect the house if need be.
Destroy your dad.
He does have a plan. Yeah, my mother is also like, authoritarian. Like, I run this. Like, yeah, you're the breadwinner, whatever. But my mother runs the relationship, runs the house. She organizes everything. Strong black woman, we out here, rah. Yes, it's lit. Now, he and I have discussed plans to get her to the range. So not only can we destigmatize, the fear behind guns and shit like that, but also like, she needs to know, like, you can't just be keeping no AR in the house and she not know. Like, come on.
FN.
Yeah, and or just in case, like, my dad works. He's very busy as a physician. Like, there are many times when he's not home. If mom needs to blast, and also my mother is from the hood, so don't even try it. Like, I'm certain she has some experience. She just didn't want it around the kids while we were at home and shit. And this would be a surprise to be like, oh yeah, we got an arsenal, just so you know. So we're gonna have to break her in a little bit. But I do think it's not only, to protect the home. It's fun to shoot guns, but also the current state of the nation is relatively troubling. My dad isn't trying to go out here and make a statement or stop any mass shooters, any crazy shit like that. That's not his goal in getting these guns. And he has stopped. He's not accruing literally like tens and hundreds of guns and just, having all types of cabinets and all types of wild shit. Like, we had the conversation to be like, okay, this is the last one when he got the AR. But still, like, it's an interest. It's tough, man.
That is some really interesting stuff. And with the recency of these mass shootings, I've thought about guns a lot. And I'm like, like on some real shit, getting a gun is not that serious. If you always just have it under your bed chilling, like, it's not that big of a deal. And I've also tried to open my mind up to the other side, like gun enthusiasts. And on some real shit, like having a gun is not that serious. Even if you have hundreds of them, it's not that serious if you use it properly and correctly, whatever. And it's just like made me think as a millennial in 2017, the 21st century, in our current political and social climate, should I get a gun? And I won't have to do anything with it. I could leave it under my bed. If I ever wake up one day and someone just showed up, I could blast them and keep moving. You know what I'm saying?
Do you ever think of contingency plans? Like in random scenarios, like what would you do if somebody came at you with a gun? Like, do you ever like sit there and like think about what you would do or what you should do in a situation? Because I do all the time. So like, if I bought a gun, because I thought about buying a gun probably about the past 2 years. I just been too lazy to go and figure it out because I need to go shoot them and do
what
all
you got to
that.
Figure out. Show up, show them your ID. Get
no. How they shoot? You have to. They are different.
Like,
they are
there's
definitely
so many
different.
handguns. Like they're all shooting 9mm. Like 40s.
Yeah,
like you can,
true.
you got to figure out which one's good for you. But anyway,
Tune, we gotta go so you can like actually observe and understand. Like, okay, there's a difference. It's a different feeling.
I thought he meant like figure out how to get it.
Oh no, that's trivial. No, that's beside the point. But no, so like I sit there like sometimes I'm laying in bed sometimes and I'm like, what if somebody busted in this bitch? Like, and I needed to figure out how to like knock them down. Like how would I have my stuff positioned around me? Like, what do I need attached to this gun so I can see what gun do I need close at hand so I can like defend myself and I live in St. Louis. For people who may or may not know, you don't know who I am. I'm like the instigator.
Third biggest racism capital in America.
Plus also they have a lot of gang violence, a lot of fucking black on black bullshit, a lot of fucking shootings. Like, it's terrible, kinda, because people just be getting robbed all the time. People don't really die around where I live, but people get robbed at gunpoint. In case y'all motherfuckers come visit. But I always think about these contingency plans. Like, if I'm walking down the street, how would I do all that? If I had a strap and I need to fucking do something. Like, you gotta think about that when you're also getting a gun too. It's not just about like, oh, I gotta get a gun that I like. It's like, okay, is that gonna function for what I think I need it for?
That's real, because I've always thought if I got a gun, I'd just leave it under the bed. And if someone did run up on me at the crib, I don't think having it under the bed would be the most efficient. So that's a really good point. But I also don't want to have a gun that I can see every day. I don't want it like in my, space. Because personally, I believe, and this is why I kind of believe that I would lean towards repealing the Second Amendment from that earlier question, is because my opinion is if you guys have heard the quote, you live by the gun, you die by the gun. You live by the sword, die by the sword.
Yeah.
My thing is, okay, so that's more for if someone's out gangbanging and they just always blasting, eventually he's going to come back. But I see it on even the most basic level. If you even own a gun, you're already exposing yourself to the potentiality of getting some sort of gun, blowback.
I think those numbers are a little skewed. I mean, just to think about it, like, I mean, the people that they're reporting on are the people that have the guns on them. Like, I think the problem is that the people who have guns for an aggressive situation, they're going to find them in these terrible situations. But the majority of people who own guns do not ever get in an altercation with their gun.
Yeah.
The majority of people, otherwise everybody'd be in jail.
Right. But my thing is, you can't get in an altercation with a gun, or the chances are much smaller. You can get into an altercation with a gun where the other person has a gun. Yeah. But if you never come across someone who has a gun, that's not going to happen. That's not true.
That's not true.
If you always have a gun, you could get into an altercation with a gun.
That's not true.
I mean, I know that it's like the actual numbers around it. I'm thinking more of like a karma, psychological kind of, and it's just like
what mindset do you need to have that where you're thinking you need a gun? What kind of situation are you in that makes you think that you need to be strapped up?
Or you can just be in a regular situation, but you're like, oh shit, I have a gun. Maybe I can handle this situation differently with my gun. So, but at the same time, it's just like with all of these conversations and Trump, I mean, I don't know why Trump, but we're just going to throw him out there and just blame it on him. I feel like I need to get strapped up,
Yo, I've definitely, first off, fuck Trump. I've definitely read some statistics about how people react in active shooter situations, whether they have a weapon or not. And many times, no matter whether they have a weapon or not, it's very ineffective because they don't have that training. You're not, just as you said, if you're not interacting with your gun on a regular basis or training even for those situations the way the police are, you are not adding to a situation to be like, oh yeah, I'm in the grocery store, there was an active shooter, I happen to have my gun, I can end this now. That's not how it happens. That's maybe a 1% scenario, if even that.
There's nobody, no active shooters getting taken down apart from that one guy. What was it, Texas, the most recent mass shooting at that church?
Even that guy didn't hit him. He was shooting wildly, and it like distracted, and it put that other person at risk.
Oh, he hit him twice, and then the guy got injured, and then shot himself because he realized he was down. So it was a neighbor, the guy who lived next to the church. He heard the shooting, so he came out and shot him. But like this was like the only experience. Think about the guy in Las Vegas. Think about a Sandy Hook motherfucker. Think about all these other people.
Yes, like Aurora, all of these churches, you name it.
Yeah, like the Charleston people, there's all this stuff. Like, nobody has a gun. Or if they did, they were not fighting back. They dipped.
Okay, I got to throw one out there that I think y'all probably forgot.
Mm-hmm.
The shooting of the Republican.
The softball guy.
The softball
game.
Yeah. Now, he was personnel, security personnel, the guy who eventually took him out. And no one, so there was one guy, I don't know if he's a senator or representative that got shot, but no one else got shot. He survived. There was no fatalities. And that guy got capped because there was someone there with a gun. So now he is trained, but that is a perfect example.
That's significant training.
That's what I'm saying. That's why when I said earlier that the gun laws shouldn't just be like you can buy a gun. You got to go through training. So if you're going to have a gun, it's going to be useful to not only yourself to have fun, but also to other people in case some scenario pops off. Like we don't want just random Joe who just comes out there and then just spraying, on his free time. Like we need somebody who have to go through some fucking training so he actually knows how to use the weapon effectively in a situation where it's important. Yeah. And so this is all I'm asking for, and that's what I think it's important.
See, they're also on top of that gun training conversation. We need to have another police training conversation to make sure they're not overusing guns and shooting black people in the back 6 times before asking their name and what
when they're running off.
Please,
what's your name?
Trying to run away.
Yeah, what the fuck? And not even to really make a joke out of it, but there's an American infatuation with guns and weaponry that's
the cowboy mentality.
Yeah. It's the fucking Wild Wild West, just expounding off of the manifest destiny. I have to protect myself at all times. We don't live in those times anymore.
No,
it's not like that. Which actually reminds me,
engines here, all that bullshit they believed back then.
Yeah, it really reminds me of this conversation we were actually just having about how our society and technology and shit is evolving faster than we biologically can evolve. Oh. There are instincts within us that are like, okay, we have this fight or flight instinct where, okay, I need to react or respond in this moment. I need to, I have a weapon, I need to shoot this guy, or I need to run, or I need, and the cops have this along with the black people that are getting shot, or other people with guns, the mass shooters, all that shit. And I think we are just failing to get a handhold on what is going on within humanity. I feel like, Ahi, when we were discussing earlier, you had some interesting talking points on that. Did you want to share a little bit of that?
That was crazy because I watched this TED Talk or some YouTube thing probably about a year ago, maybe 6 months, and they were talking about how the human populations evolved to have community sizes of 200 or less. So your village that you grew up in only had 200 people. You're built to have a social network of around 200 people that you can actually connect with on a person-to-person basis. You can relate to them. You can feel good about them. So I looked it up recently because I was going to talk to you guys about it, and it turns out, so there's a thing, it's called Dunbar's number. So on Wikipedia, Dunbar's number is a suggested cognitive limit to the number of people with whom one can maintain stable social relationships, right? So this goes back to the whole idea that people say, oh, we're just getting apathetic about our caring about our neighbor and, all these other things. I don't think it's because we don't care about what's going on with other people. I think we just can't. Like, if it doesn't affect you and your 200 people that you care about, you naturally can't give a shit.
Yeah.
Because it has no value to you. So we were watching the news earlier, and it wasn't the news. It was the Punisher.
Yeah, we were watching Punisher and people getting smacked. Yeah.
Yeah, no, and the lady, one of the detectives in the thing was in New York, and they were talking about how people don't care anymore about 9/11. Like, they don't care. And I'm like, no, it's not that. Oh, they forgot about it. And I was like, not that they forgot about 9/11. It's because, like, they just don't have any, like, they didn't lose anybody in this situation. It didn't affect their life personally.
They literally do not have the cognitive ability to, like,
for it to hit them. For it to hit them. Like, it didn't hit them personally. So I think that this really affects us in terms of our ability to think about legislation. If it doesn't affect you personally, like, or your people that you care about, like, do you really care? Are you going to go out and be a champion for this whatever issue? Like, no. Because no.
Yeah, it doesn't affect you.
Yeah, so I think it's really about, at that point, at that level, that's where we are functioning in terms of our social cognizance.
So how the fuck did this man Trump connect with all these Neanderthals? How the fuck did that happen?
I wouldn't call them Neanderthals, but...
Yeah, I would call them Neanderthals.
Okay, that's an unpopular opinion. Okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't call them Neanderthals.
I'm sorry, no.
No, I think they are people who are very self-interested, and they're not interested in hearing about other people's plights. Their 200 is very tight and very homogenous, you know?
They all look like them.
I mean, but I think that you could probably say that about these liberal elites on the coasts, which has become a little bit more popular in political news.
But the thing is that they have these ideas that even though they may not necessarily benefit from them, it's like it's popular in their group. So even if you didn't really think about those ideas, like, people will mention it and you're like, that does sound good, and it's popular, everybody thinks it's the right idea, you're going to prescribe to that too. It's like the iPhone phenomenon. You know, a lot of your friends, my little brother loves the iPhone because his friends love the iPhone, and it's that idea. It's not about anything else. It's just along those lines.
Yo, go ahead and talk that shit.
I fucking hate iPhone. I hate Apple. I'm going to drop that shit right now.
Yo, see, that's why we fuck with the instigator, man, because his head is in the right place.
Yeah, Apple is never going to sponsor this fucking podcast.
Man, they need to go ahead and sponsor this damn podcast.
Yo, let me get that iPhone 37, please.
I'm getting all the Microsoft Surface products.
Yo, the new Microsoft Surface laptop, though, is lit.
No, the Surface Book is lit. Do not get the Surface laptop, man.
What?
Return that shit.
Are they not the same thing?
Right. No, the Surface Book is a different thing. So the Surface laptop is like a regular laptop. The Surface Book has this crazy ass hand you can take off the screen. It's a fucking tablet and it's the size of a 15-inch thing.
Detachable keyboard.
It's a detachable
or a screen. Yeah.
It has all the shit in it.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, but you can't use the keyboard on its own.
Yes, okay. Yes.
I wish they had the Bluetooth on the keyboard, but nah.
Oh, that would be so good.
That would be tight. You put the screen over there, you over here. No. But no, that you need to look at the reviews for that Surface Book. That shit is fucking nice. Right. I'm getting one.
I'm going to get one. When I need a new laptop, it's going to be the Microsoft Surface.
It's going to be the fucking Surface
Might have to do that. Yo, so we've been discussing a little bit of political shit, a little relationship shit, talking about like rich people and their fucking, spouses and this and that. I have a question for the instigator. I was talking to Tunde a little earlier this year about an interesting conversation that he had with somebody. I'm going to ask you.
real quick before we get into that, we just have to drop a couple names for our sponsors. First of all, we're sponsored by Apple. Well, we're not actually sponsored by Apple, but we definitely try to get those Apple checks.
Checks in the mail.
Apple is not coming to y'all, man.
Elon Musk, friend of the podcast.
We fuck with Elon though.
Go ahead. Teslas.
We trying to get some Teslas, man. If you trying to take us to space, I'ma go.
I'm not going.
Fucking
no
terrified.
Space cadets.
Half your fucking rockets
stupid ass checks.
Elon, I ain't fucking with that.
But yeah, I mean, if you own an Apple product, return it, and
if it's not broken, if you haven't already cracked the screen 8 times,
right, and retrieve your soul back because you don't have one.
Please.
Who else? HBO, sponsored by HBO and Netflix. Man,
and
go
Netflix.
ahead and keep coming out with all these nice ass shows.
Yo, Tune and Herschel, we got a show coming out on Netflix in the fall next year, 2019. Don't worry about it.
Just look out for it.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, exactly.
That would be pretty
lit. Your show. Don't worry about it.
That'd be pretty lit. Who else? Yeti microphones because they hold it down.
You're holding it down.
These
Hold it
microphones
down.
are clean.
You know what I'm saying? Anyway, back to your regularly scheduled.
No. We got one more. We got one more.
We got another?
We are sponsored by AK with the beam and the scope.
Ooh, okay, you're right. You're right.
Yes.
Well, does anyone know what the AK stands for?
Automatov Kalishnikova.
There we go.
Let's get it. Yo, Instigator with the facts.
With the scope, man.
Yes. Yo,
with the scope.
Is it German or is it Belgian?
No, it's a fucking Russian.
It's Russian?
It's a hardcore Russian weapon.
Freaking Andre Kirilenko he used to play for the
AK-47,
Jazz.
that motherfucker's name was fucking... Oh, that's the hardest shit I ever heard,
He wore
man.
47.
When you absolutely, positively have to kill every motherfucker in the room.
Right.
Make sure y'all watch Jackie Brown. Great movie. Your man Samuel Jackson in it. Great
Quentin
quote.
Tarantino movie?
Tarantino. For sure.
Yeah, yo, so the AK-47 I think was in like Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. And
it's in like every game.
It's in like a lot of them.
But they usually suck compared to the other guns.
Right, exactly. I was just going to say the recoil was horrible. But if you needed to spray...
Yo, I got to tell y'all a story.
You need an AK.
Okay, so this was when I was at the range with my dad and my brother. It was some kid, some like 14, 15-year-old kid or whatever. His grandfather was in there with a like big motherfucking Cuban cigar in his mouth. It wasn't lit because you can't have it lit in buildings, but he still had it in his mouth, cooling cane and whatnot, trying to coach his grandson up or whatever. It was the weirdest fucking thing ever. This man gives him the AK. I think they were gonna let him just spray. It wasn't the semi-automatic. They were just gonna let this man. Yo, the range officer had to tap him on the shoulder and be like, yo. Nah. Because he was about to get wild with it. It was about to be crazy. I'm glad I did not end up in a body bag. Yes. Bruh, no.
A 14-year-old?
He was tall. He was tall and lanky. Like, he
that's
was
not
a
good.
young kid.
That's just a bomb-ass bat, man.
You got a wrong radius, man.
I was scared. I was concerned. I had to back up.
Just like that. Everybody's
Yes, long radius just sprayed.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. The AK is to spray, man. The AK is to spray. You heard it here for the first time ever on Real Talk, Beyond the Headline.
You heard it here
back
first.
To your regularly scheduled program. Herschel.
Shout out to AK, though.
Yo, so... Excellent transition. Terrible transition. So, Tunde was talking to me about dating a black conservative. Do you feel like